Do do. Do do do. What up, Big E? What? Okay, mic's working. Beautiful. I don't hear Eric at all. Speak, Eric, speak. I got nothing. Nothing for Eric. Nothing for Big E. Big E. Williams. Oh, he wasn't even at his computer. On the road again. Here I am.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, I was making my protein shake.
Oh, there you go.
Did you listen to any of that?
I did.
Funny, it's funny.
Big old Jeff.
It's a lot of that stuff. Yeah, we'll get into it. How old is he now?
Who, Jeffrey Lurie?
Yeah.
73.
If I speak like that at 73, I'll be happy.
Oh, hell yeah. He's worth $5.3 billion.
You spelled Lurie wrong today.
I did. Always had the A. Always had the A. Oh, well.
They're adding three. They're gonna have 3 Christmas games. I forgot to.
Yeah. Same. That's the new
Same
norm
shit,
going
though.
forward.
Yeah. This fucking guy is goof. Art Rooney. I keep hearing that I'm gonna be fucking retards. Literally, fucking right after we got off the phone, my like back fucking locked up on me.
Oh, that's not good.
For like fucking 5 minutes. Yeah, it was like really random. So I had to like fucking. I went like lay down on the floor, downstairs,
Yeah.
and like I had to like fucking like stretch my back, like I had to like fucking and like it popped off, but like fucking Cash is like up in my fucking face, like looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm in like fucking serious pain, bro. Like relax. I'm ready.
Let's let's get it.
Now recording. 100. Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't making that. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making cheese like Mercedes-Benz. Whoa, yeah, please don't take offense. It isn't you, I'm just not interested in making friends. My biggest...
It is Inside Eagles Redzone podcast here live on April 1st, 2025. It's Eric Williams, joined as always by my co-host Matt Nemo. Matt, what's going on?
Yo, happy Tuesday, Mr. Eric. Hey, got a handful of stuff to talk about, ready to get into it. So let's get rolling.
It's wild that every day is always something. Yeah, that's always like, hey, we got this to talk about. A little slow week today. Oh, no. And then, like, everything just pops off. And then, like today, I was like, oh, man, like, we're going to, kind of have, like, an idea of what we're going to go show-wise, with the linebacker talk. But I was like, we can talk about this. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. And then I'm like 4 o'clock, I'm like, oh, no, Jeff's talking today. I'm like, oh, and I forgot, like, Nick was going to talk today. It was like, boom, like, all this stuff. But, like, so, like, Jeff just spoke at, like, 4 o'clock. And, he spoke to reporters and stuff like that. And a lot of this stuff, Matt, and we kind of glanced over it if you were on the live feed before we went live. Dude, a lot of this stuff is, like, very common sense and very what we've been talking about over the last 6 months.
Yep.
Everything. The Goddard stuff, the talk about Howie, the Nick talk, the extension talk, the way that they've built this team for the last 14, 15 months, the stuff from 2023. Dude, it's just like, I feel like it's rinse and repeat. It's just like I'm listening to him and I'm like, oh, yep, everything's yep. I can't like and like we talked about it off a minute ago. I was like, if I can sound like that and sound very confident in my football team, I'm good. My team is, I'm in good hands. It's just like, I don't know. Like, it's funny because I'm like, oh, man, Jeff's talking. Like, he rarely, he's like, talks what, like twice a year?
Yep.
If that. And it's like, I'm like right there with you. Like, even if you listen to some of these radio stations around here, they start throwing their hands up and having, temper tantrums like a 5-year-old kid not getting his way at the grocery store. But like, dude, everything that Jeff said, boom, bing, bing, like, just listen to Inside Eagles Redzone for the last 14 months, and it's just like, hey, we said that, we said this, we said that. We're not pushing narratives. And maybe I'm just wound up here on a Tuesday, Matt. It's April Fool's Day, and I see some of these clowns try to put some like little April Fools. Almost got me a few times. But I don't know. Nothing he said today went, oh shit, like I didn't know. And like Derek Gunn comes out, what was it, like 1 o'clock, I thought? 2 o'clock? Saying that they don't really want to trade Goddard, but they kind of also want to get his cap number down. The dude is like everything that we fucking said. I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, there's stuff we can get off that conversation, but it's just like, could have told you so, man. And like,
things are easy when you actually take a common sense approach, and for some reason, a lot of fans refuse to look at sports in a common sense way.
IQ level.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah, no, and that's funny because I'm laughing and I'm like, man, like everybody should know this, but I know that tomorrow there will be fans up in arms about everything that they will try to spin everything that Jeff has said. Oh, dude, they won the Super Bowl. What do you guys want?
Yep.
Like you went to the Super Bowl in 2022. Everything falls apart in 2023. They go right back to the Super Bowl. So 2023 was the outlier. You win 2022 with a better defense on the field.
Yep.
Like, you have 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And anybody should complain about the Eagles. But you win. You could have had 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Could have. You have 1 in 3 years. 2 appearances in 3 years.
There's teams that would freaking die for. There's teams and
No,
fans
Cleveland.
that would die for that.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland,
Yeah.
the Cowboys, the Giants, Washington,
Oh, man.
Buffalo, everyone but the Chiefs, honestly. Chiefs and the Eagles are the... And, well, 49ers a couple years from now will be looking at it, but those are like the 3 teams that have done anything over the last, 5 years, so...
And it's fun, yeah. It's fucking, it's wild. It's wild. Wild, absolutely wild. What's going on, chat room? I see you out there. Yeah, no, the conversation we had probably about 8 months ago about Jeff. Like, we basically said, hey, like, Jeff, let's how we do his football thing. He said in that in the press, talking to the press today, he said, "Oh, Howie's the best general manager in football." Like, he said it out there for everybody to hear. Like, true fucking statement. Like, absolutely true. We've had our, we went to war over Howie. We've called him out.
He's got to do it again.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But if he can consistently do it, it's a year-to-year league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, things change. It's a different roster each year. You have guys come into the, to the league, and then you make a bunch of changes. This team that you're going to see in 2025 is not the same team you're going to see that you saw in 2024. You've lost a couple pieces. You're going to gain some pieces, and it's a new team. You know what I mean? It's every year is a new team.
Every year is new in every sport.
Yeah, and these fans that want to go, kind of, I don't want to give this freaking, goof, any more, talk about than he does. But the doctor, if it was up to the doctor, every year would be blowing up the team. You'd win a Super Bowl and you'd
blow it up.
Yeah, he'd rather win 60 games. That's a loser mentality. That's loser. Oh, I can't wait to April 27th. Good Lord. As Connor Price says, I'm not interested in making friends. Dude, it's true. Like,
that's very
I sound like a nutcase. And I tell people, we just talked about this off air, 3:30 this afternoon. I said, dude, like, I tell people listen to the podcast, and I said, this is me, but turned up. This is me, turned up. And for people that want to listen to the pod and enjoy it, hey, appreciate it. I love you. But if you don't like the way that me and Matt speak about certain topics because, we are exaggerating things and we're just, what was the word he told you yesterday? Because, like, dude, I didn't think about it until probably about 10 minutes before we went live. And I went, did that motherfucker really just say that? What did he say? He said we're blind faith. What did he say? About
blind faith.
Oh, so we have blind fucking faith, Matt. That we give a fuck about the team.
Where we have blind faith because, as we just said, it's a new season, so let's not be overly mad about the Phillies, and we were telling people
what are you mad about?
For a long time that the Eagles were going to be good, and they were good, but that's blind faith.
We're blind faith. So
blind
we should
faith.
Be fucking losers, and we should be 4-13 every year. Yay! I'm gonna pay fucking $500 to see a That's fucking loser mentality. We want to fucking win big, Matt.
That's
right. We
right.
want to win big, as the show title today is "Win Big" and Linebackers Part 2. We're not fucking losers. I don't understand this loser mentality in this fucking stupid city. Good Lord.
I'm right there with you.
I'm glad. I'm glad I don't sound like a fucking idiot. I sound insane sometimes. But hey, it's part of the show. It's just...
No, it's having the common sense to understand that although you might fail the year before, and then it's okay to be upset. when that
But, like,
happens.
yeah.
But
But
when
you
the new
can't
year
fucking-
starts,
Yeah.
it's a new season. The team is different. The names might be the same. The coaches' names might be the same. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. So let it ride. Then when the season ends, that's when I will choose to decide my happiness or anger. To go into something extremely pessimistic
Ugh.
before you know anything, to me, is stupid. If I'm that pessimistic, why would I waste my time and watch? Because, you know what? Am I going to, if I'm feeling negative about something, am I just going to watch and hope that, they're bad so I can be like, yeah, I'm right? No, to me, that's stupid.
Like,
There's a million other things you can do with your life.
yeah.
If you are that upset, I mean, I get being mad, dude. I mean, look at, even still, over a year later, one of our most popular and most downloaded shows is always the F You Howie episode.
Yep. That was great.
And it was deserved. But we didn't let that go into and influence us for 2024. We said, look at this roster, look at this team. I got faith that they're going to rebound with the coach and the quarterback and finally getting the man on D and the roster moves they made. Great. Okay, see? Now, they go out and win the Super Bowl, and guess what? I think they understand that they have a very good core, and they want to keep the window open. Because they know teams only get 2-3 year windows, and then it closes, and you have to retool and restart. Now, with the baseball team, this is the last year for that core. That, like, 6 guys that you know and can consider the core. Okay, they might be good. They might win. If they don't, then hey, guess what? Things need to change. But I'm not going to let it sour the 158 games that are left just because they lost in the playoffs last year. Guess what? There's only one team that wins a championship every single year. If I'm that negative about the team, why would I waste my time? Hey, case in point, the Sixers disappointed me. They disappointed me to the point where I said, I'm done. I'm not watching. I'm not watching this year. I don't talk about them. I don't watch them.
I wanted to ask you about that earlier when we were off air today. When did you realize that the Sixers were just, like, it was just over? Like, you were just like, I'm done. Like, Embiid going out or no?
Yeah, a little bit with Embiid going out and then watching Maxey out there and going like, dude, like, I mean, I have questions about what Maxey is as an actual star, in quotes, and knowing I watched that Christmas Day game against the Celtics and they won, and I was like, this is good basketball. And then when guys get hurt and there's no timetable for returns and they don't know what's wrong, that's when I said, okay, this isn't worth my time. If the team doesn't know what the fuck's going on, I'm not wasting my time, because basketball, especially in basketball, that's a sport where if you're 5 seed, a 6 seed, you're not winning shit. So I'm not watching.
You have to be like a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But and then maybe a 3. Getting back to Jeff, what he said earlier, I wanted to touch on this, but I didn't have the actual quote. But he was talking about drafting well, making it hard to retain some of the players, long term. And he said, if you keep paying the market value of every player who becomes a free agent on your team, you will absolutely be unable to sign most of your best young players. It's something that we touched on, like with the C.J. Gardner-Johnson deal. You sign him, chances are that money gets is, the money that was freed up from signing a guy like Jalen Carter, Cooper,
Yeah.
people, that money's not there. You dry it up. I think a lot of people just say, "Oh, sign this player." It's emotional. I get fans love to get emotionally invested in players. I get that, 100%. No problem. 100%. I get that. That's not going to be, that's true. It is true. People do get emotionally invested. But you have to think long picture in the NFL.
Yep.
You really do. But yeah, I don't know. Jeff talked to the media. It was good, and just really nailed everything that we've basically been saying for a while now. So it felt good not going, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like, I was like, "Oh, like, I knew that. Like,
There's your lesson of the day, people. Common sense. It works in real life. And it works in sports. It's really not that difficult. Like, seriously. You're listening to Jeff say the stuff that we've been saying for months now. It's great because it's like, yeah, of course. But then hearing him say that and going like, yeah, we've been saying this, takes me back to when we are talking about these points and just going, this is just Eric and I having conversations and then just kind of not looking at it. How do I want to word this? Not looking at it as just like on the field shit, but like taking this common sense and then applying it to all the other aspects of sports. Because I think that's a big problem. People look at on the field, they apply it to what they know, which is, sad to say, fantasy, gambling, but they don't want to, like, dude, seriously, spend a week, spend 3 days, simulate, play the sports games. I don't care if you find an N64, find a PlayStation 2, find an old Xbox. It's all the same. Sports games haven't changed that much, except for gameplay is worse. They simulate you. You go through all the front office steps. You go through all these things. I don't understand how the material is there for the people to understand what the nature of the business aspect of the sport is. But they cannot put on the field and business aspect together at the same time. And it blinds people. Then you get people thinking that every sport works the same way. When all you have to do is fucking sit back and use your head and realize, oh wait, it's different. We have to think of this. We have to think of this. We have to think of this. And people just, I don't know if it's stubbornness or maybe Eric, people, and I mean, we've been talking about the fans now for a long time. Maybe people are just that stupid. I think realistically, the older I get, the more people you meet, the more people you talk to. The average person is a fucking idiot. I really think that's what it is. I'm not the smartest dude, but I know I'm smart, and the average person's an idiot. I think there's a big baseline. It's just like when the line between a good team and an average team is pretty significant when they play. It's the same thing. Like, you can be smart, and then if you're just average, well, guess what? Average is an idiot. And the more you talk to people and the more people react, you learn that people are just idiots.
Well, like, I mean, dude, like, we've had that conversation before with, like, people and their hot takes.
Yeah.
They try to be, the trolling. But, like, sometimes they take the trolling as if, like, they believe that they're actually being serious. Like, the trolls are not the trolls because a troll is a joke. Like, shout out to Chris. Troll, but knows when to be the troll, when not to be the troll. He's not going to be the troll all the time because then people will just look at him and go, "You're a goof. I don't want to talk to you." And he will have no friends, but he knows how to get somebody wound up and then go, "Okay, like let me rewind here. Okay, let me be normal. Let me be Cress.
Yep.
Let me be the normal person. Let's talk about movies. You can't troll about a fucking movie. When you're watching a movie, you can't fucking troll. You're watching a movie. You can fucking be real. Okay, so but then there's some people that troll, and then they say outlandish things in group chats and Discord chats, talking about that they would give up draft picks for Deshaun Watson. Trying to be a troll, but then saying stupid things.
And then it's not trolling, you're just stupid.
Yeah, you're just stupid. That's not trolling. Trolling and being stupid, two different things. And we've talked about that over the time of, the show, is that there's that difference, but people try to be funny and try to do that gotcha moment. It's always about the gotcha moment because it's like, oh, you said this, so blah blah blah. But you set them up to try to like put in, little spin, like your own little spin on things.
That's right.
I remember me and Tommy were talking. Shout out to get a lot of people getting shout outs today. I was talking to Tommy about this a while ago about people putting their spins on things. They don't say, hey, like, you can talk about a certain topic, whatever it is. Well, that's your opinion unless you're saying facts. Like, if you're giving, like, XYZ fact, well, then that's a fact. But an opinion's an opinion, and a fact is a fact. People don't know sometimes the difference between facts and opinions.
That's very true.
And it's like, it's the same thing with football. Like,
Yep.
when I start hearing the stuff that he talks, when Jeff talked today, I'm like, facts, 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 facts. And everything that we've said, facts, facts, facts. Even though it's just me and you conversating about football, we're going, yeah, they makes sense. It looks like it could be. Oh, it is. Okay, we're right.
It's not rocket science.
It's not like if you watch it enough times and think, hey, like this could be it. Crest, college basketball, telling me, no, I don't care about college basketball now. But he's telling me, oh, this team scores 89 points or this team scores. That's facts. That's numbers.
Yep.
Like, you can't, like, that, he's not saying, oh, they might score 89 points. Well, that's an opinion because they might. They might not. But if you're saying, hey, an average is 60 points, that's an average. A grade is grade. Oh, they're a C-rated team. That's a grade.
Yep.
Some people need to know the difference between grades and stats. You see what I did there, Matt? We tied that all together for the last month and a half. We explained grades and stats.
Although, with particular grades, take it with a grain of salt.
Right, but it's an opinion.
Yeah, but you just said grades aren't opinions. Grades are facts.
No, but I'm saying, but like PFF is an opinion based. Because like the fucking formula is a fucking opinion.
They don't have a formula.
Uh,
They don't. They'll read we read their website.
Opinion.
We read it on the air.
Right.
They have a geek that probably never played football, doesn't know what they're looking at, giving every play a +2 or a -2. And that's their grading system. So take it with a grain of salt. It's not facts.
But it's an opinion.
Yes. But I'm just saying, you just said grades are facts and facts aren't opinions. But you can't.
No,
PFF.
stats. I meant to say, yeah. I meant to say stats are real. Because like if he has 140 yards, well, that's measured. I meant to say stats.
But stats don't tell you everything. But
people will look at stats.
They are
go,
a data
yeah,
point to use.
Yeah. Wins and losses mean everything.
That's right.
What the fuck?
But fuck PFF. Fuck overly pessimistic people complaining about playoff losses from 2 years ago when it's 2 years later. Let it go. It's not someone that banged your girl. It's not a failed relationship.
Oh,
it's a new year, a new team. Fuck your fantasy
Press it.
team. It's seriously, everyone having access to betting and access to fantasy sports has dumbed down the general sports fan population. I will stand by it because these motherfuckers only look at box scores and don't watch. And that is how people determine if you are good or not.
All right, so you got anything else you want to get into before we get into the linebackers?
No.
So which one do you want to do first?
We're going to start with Chris Paul Jr. Not the Chris Paul, but the other Chris Paul. Let me pull my shit up here. Okay, so Chris Paul Jr. He is a junior from Ole Miss. Obviously, his stats flash there at the bottom here. Really, Matt Nemo was very high on Chris Paul Jr. 6'1", 222 pounds, ran a 4.63 40. He's projected to go third round. They have him as a in-box style linebacker. Strengths, good instinct and play recognition. He's a natural in zone coverage. Very good closing burst. Pre-snap processing. Is able to do that, diagnose, see what's going on pre-snap. Great change of direction. Very good route recognition and man coverage. And he's a plus blitzer. Weaknesses, his smaller frame shows up in 1v1 blocks. Has a tendency to over-pursue. And also has a tendency to become a sloppy tackler. However, I think he is very unique. And I think with a third-round projection, I think he has an opportunity to be a steal. I think he shows very, very high football IQ with his ability to process the offense pre-snap and his post-snap play recognition. He has great coverage skills and has an elite burst of speed when attempting to close the gap on a runner. If he can become consistent and keep in good tackling form, the tackling will improve, and he can be an every down linebacker at the NFL level. I think his tape pops off the screen, shows the ability to play man, play zone, blitz. He can defend passes. He can tackle in space. That play right there, you're getting held and still able to reach out and get the tackle. Being able to diagnose plays post-snap and pre-snap. Love that play right there, just to bat that forward and turn that into an interception. Very, very high on Chris Paul. I'll just, not even to sugarcoat it. He will win out of the four today. He is your winner. And he actually debuts on the Matt Nemo rankings as the number 3 linebacker.
Oh, shit.
He has toppled Carson Schweizer.
So I want to ask you so we'll do with all 4 guys today. We'll kind of start this. How would he fit into a Vic Fangio scheme?
Dude, he could be your Zach Bond. Probably gives you a little more man flexibility than Bond does in coverage, but the ability to blitz, the ability to attack the A gap, and play the run, and kind of, you put it in my head yesterday, Eric, when you asked me. I forget who it was, but you asked me if they could wear the green dot. And when I was
Campbell, was it Campbell,
yes,
or was it, I'm trying to
or maybe Demetrius Knight.
Demetrius Knight. It was Demetrius Knight.
And that, when I was watching tape today with these 4 guys, that was something that, after you watch the tape the first time, read through everything.
That's always what I want to. Yeah,
yep.
That's the one thing I always think about.
And I was like, I got to think about that, especially. I was like, that's a very astute point that you brought up yesterday, and it's a very good question. I think 3 out of the 4 guys today could be Green Dotters. But with that play recognition and being able to, see things pre-snap, that to me lends to a good possibility of becoming a green dot and being that defensive signal caller from that linebacker position. Really like what I saw. Really think he can develop into something even better. And I think potential, especially if he goes third round, that's seriously potential steal with this guy.
Would you say that he's a day one starter?
I think he could start. I think he could potentially start day one. I mean, obviously that depends where he ends up. I do like a lot. It would really depend what linebackers are there. And yeah, really depends who's there and what team he ends up with. I don't think he wouldn't start for the Eagles. I don't think he'd start for your upper echelon teams, but if Carolina took him, or a couple of those teams that have a couple pieces but really need that guy to kind of help bring the defense all together, I think he could potentially start there. I think he's going to be a guy teams are going to be like, oh yeah, well, we got this linebacker. And then when you get to training camp and you get to preseason, you're going to start to see him pop and then kind of be like, oh, okay, we got a guy. He might earn playing time early.
All right, what's the one thing you don't like from watching his tape?
I think it would be kind of that in space he can get a little sloppy with the tackling for him. And while you can get away with that at the college level, knowing what you're going to go up against at the NFL level, that's a concern, because I know we've talked about linebackers racking up big tackling numbers, but I always kind of want to see yards, where they're how far are they making that first contact? Where are they getting that tackle? Great, you might rack up 10 tackles a game and save a couple touchdowns, but did you have that opportunity to tackle that running back at the line of scrimmage or a yard in the backfield, and you end up missing and then getting an assisted tackle 5-6 yards down the field? He has everything to where he can close the gap quick, he can get there, but he kind of plays a little bit like he wants to make that big boom hit, instead of just, hey, let's wrap up, drive, and bring you to the ground.
When you say the big boom,
yes, just like our boys AJ and Big Justice.
I thought you were gonna put the fucking soundbite. Every time you say that, I always think you're gonna hit that soundbite every time you say boom. Oh, good lord!
But he debuts at number 3 on the list.
Over Schweisinger.
Over Big Schweisy. Our second backer today, we got Mr. Jeffrey Bassa, the senior from Oregon. He is 6'1", 232 pounds, ran a 4.63 40. Projected to go in the 4th round. They have a multi-role style linebacker for him. His strengths, good coverage instincts. Although here, you know what? Let's go to this. This play here. Start off the bat. So they say he's got good coverage instincts, and he does. But this first play, I see a big red flag. So this tight end's running this route here, and he's in a horrible position.
Yeah,
right here right at the end of the screen. And then sadly it disappears, so off screen. But there is something up here that this tight end does, where he creates a shit ton. Look at this space he's created.
Too much.
Too much. Now,
No bueno.
he ends up closing. I think they ruled this a fumble. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay. So he does come back and force the fumble. But I think it's at the top of routes is where the coverage instincts need to be tightened up. He is a former safety, so he's got natural from playing safety zone coverage instincts.
I was gonna say he plays. I was gonna say a lot of like where he lines up. I've been watching. They kind of throw him into that like safety spot.
Yep, and that's why he gets the multi-role label. He could be your. Some teams in nickel like to throw the third safety in and take a linebacker off the field. That safety background, he could be a nickel linebacker. I do like his tackling. His weaknesses, he's got leverage issues in the run game. Doesn't use his lower body. You know, to me, he's playing linebacker like a safety.
Is that coachable? Is that can you coach that out of him?
Yes, but that's something where the player needs to buy in and get. Like you can be coached, you can be taught. You got to learn how to use your legs as an anchor, especially against bigger offensive linemen. And that's the thing. Yes, you played in the Big Ten, good conference, but. You know, these plays where he's flashing against, you know, some Wisconsin, some Washington, like Minnesota. Wisconsin historically has put out some good linemen. But these bottom tier Big Ten schools, you're not going to see those guys in the NFL.
UCLA, yeah. UCLA.
Yeah. So I think that the strength... The lack of strength shows up going against offensive linemen. And being a safety, having the coverage instincts, you'd think he'd force more turnovers. He doesn't. I think he had 2 forced fumbles all year, no interceptions. That raises a flag, especially if you're going to be a roaming safety, especially if you're in nickel packages. Projected to go 4th round. I don't like him. There's stuff there that I do like, but
he screams like 4th, 5th round.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he screams.
And I think to me, watching this tape, I think a lot of his highlights come off of plays that, that play right there is good. But to me, he has a lot of highlights that his teammates set up for him, and he's there to clean up. Now, you like the ability and coverage to close gaps. And there's a play here in this highlight package where they're running a flat route and he gets beat, but he's right on the guy's hip and limits the yards after the catch. But I don't, this to me, he kind of feels like a guy that, yes, I know you play with great players. It's obviously a little easier to make plays, but a lot of this stuff just seems like he benefited from having a couple edge rushers and defensive linemen that are going to be drafted, and he was just more so the beneficiary of some of those plays.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what I've been asking for the other thing. How does he fit into Fangio's scheme?
The having the safety background gives them the opportunity to stay on the field, and if the coverage skills he could be on the field and see some snaps in nickel and dime. I just don't think he does anything spectacular. Like, what do you see snaps over a healthy Nakobe Dean? I don't think so. He might play. He might play over Trotter because I don't know what Trotter is as an actual linebacker. But the play style is a fit. I don't know if the player is a fit.
And you've already touched on some of the stuff that we don't like out of him, but is there anything else that you've kind of, because we've kind of went through the first one, what's another thing that you don't like from him?
I don't think he takes the best pursuit angles.
Okay.
Like this play here, he takes the wrong angle. Like, even as this play,
Where should he be?
He wants to. He should be shooting this here. Like, close this off and make this running back either have to go out wide or cut back in. Now, he makes the play because this guy right here whiffs. Boom.
Oh.
But
if he makes that play, it's a bigger game.
And I think the pursuit angles leave a little bit to be desired for sure. But he's the one so far of the linebackers.
Would he be the worst out of the linebackers right now?
Yes, I actually do have him 8th.
Okay.
Now we're ending with 2 late round guys, but I think both of these 2, we're going to start with Jay Higgins. If you think of linebacker, like if I tell you think of linebacker and what the position is, what the position entails, I actually think like these 2 guys, maybe 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, but like if you think of like linebackers when you grew up, I think the last 2 are like your prototypical throwback old school linebackers.
There's a lot of love on Higgins from Coop.
Yep, played with Coop.
Some other guys, yeah. Coop loves him.
As we get the tape rolling here, Mr. Jay Higgins. He is a 6 foot, 224 pound senior. He ran a 4.82 40. Projected to go 6th round. I love him, though. I love him. Strengths, he's got a very high motor, plays sideline to sideline. Good coverage skills. He's a defensive quarterback. Pre-snap, he wore the green dot at Iowa. Very, very high football IQ, and he's very stout at the point of attack in the run game.
I always hear that. Like that's a wild thing that you just said because it's something that I keep hearing out of Iowa players. It's always high football IQ, high football IQ. Like it's kind of like that culture, very high football IQ.
Yeah, it's Kirk Ferentz who's still coaching there after like 80 million years, it seems.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
But those are the types. If you draft a guy from Iowa, he will understand and know his position and know the game of football.
Yep.
And that's what you get with Higgins. His weakness is the size. The speed is a little bit of a concern. He had very minimal production as a blitzer, and he was a 1-year starter. So that always raises a little bit of a flag for NFL scouts. But I think the potential is there. Very football intelligent player that understands the role and quarterbacks a defense. Higgins has the football skills to be a traditional middle linebacker at the next level. His size and speed, along with only being a 1-year starter, might make him have to consistently earn playing time, though. He can cover, he can play the run very well, and has shown he's capable of forcing turnovers, but the smaller frame speed and lack of blitzing production might make his path to playing time a tough road. Coaches are going to like him. Teammates are probably going to like him, but like I said, being that projection and the measurables not being ideal, he's going to he might not get a lot of playing time year one or year two, but he's going to have to earn his spot. But I think you have a player in what he can do and what he has shown. He's completely capable of doing that. Yeah. You're getting an old school linebacker with this kid, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him because I hope he pans out. Because watching his tape, reading about him, I love guys that understand the sport, love the sport, and this guy definitely, if he develops into an NFL starter, he is your green dot. 100%.
How does he fit? Yeah, I was gonna say you've kind of already touched on some things, but what is his style?
Whoa! They call him a multi-role. Sorry for the random volume there. He's a multi-role. I think he could play outside, like outside linebacker in a traditional 4-3. I think he could play inside linebacker in a 3-4 or in a 4-3. He's gonna, wherever you want to play him, he's gonna learn how to play that position and learn to play it well, and he understands what the opponent is doing. And I think that's a big thing. Now, Iowa, traditionally, they're like not a complex defense. Hey, we're going to play man. We're going to play zone. Like, they're pretty cut and dry or cut and paste with what they do schematically defensively. So if he ended up in Baltimore, it might take him a little bit to pick up. But this is a guy that knows how to play linebacker, and he can play any linebacker role you want him to.
Yeah.
I think for like a Fangio defense,
he had 4 interceptions in 2024.
Yeah, that's very good turnover production. That's why, like you were asking about Fangio's defense, for the first 2 guys, I think he'd fit right in. Yeah. You could have him playing that Nakobe Dean role, where kind of like Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean a little undersized, but very good against the run. Understands how to shoot the gap, but you saw it last year. Nakobe Dean developed some pass coverage skills, especially in zone. Like I think that guy is perfectly capable of doing that.
Yeah.
And our last guy for today, Mr. Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame. He is a senior, 6'2", 231 pounds, ran a 4.68 40. Also, like Jay Higgins, projected to go in the 6th round and a multi-role linebacker. He has excellent tackling technique, has the ability to diagnose run plays early and beat blockers to the spot. Very good gap discipline versus option and misdirection. He's a plus blitzer, and he wore the green dot. He will make all your defensive adjustments and make sure guys are in the right spot. His weaknesses, not that explosive. Like Bassa, he's not an anchor. His rookie year, he's going to be 25.
Holy damn.
And very questionable coverage skills.
That stuff, you think that could get better?
If he can be, he doesn't have the speed to make up for some issues, but if he, with his tackling technique and knowing another high IQ football player, I think he could be serviceable in coverage. I wouldn't want to put him in man, but if you're going, hey, you're a middle linebacker, we're playing cover 3, You're going to drop back in to that, 10 to 15 yard hook curl zone. I think he could be okay. But I love him against the run. That might be his role early on in his career. Could he develop into a 3-down linebacker? Maybe. Well, that remains to be seen. But I also think if you draft this dude and it's a 3rd and 1 and you want to go with like a bigger defensive package, put this dude on the field. He's gonna tackle someone at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, and he's gonna come to work every day. I don't think he develops into. I don't see him becoming a starting linebacker. Kind of potentially see him being a better Tyler Matakevich. If you remember Tyler Matakevich from Temple.
That's a name from the past.
Yes. Where I think special teams, he's going to have to play a lot early. But I think he's a better tackler and more natural instincts as a linebacker than Matakevich had. I'm interested to see how he pans out. I have him ranked 7th out of the 8 linebackers so far. I have him ahead of Bassa. I don't know. I don't like Bassa. Probably going to end up being wrong on him, maybe, but just watching that and reading, not a big fan. So out of the guys today, Chris Paul wins. He is the number 1 for today. He is number 3 overall. Bassa ranked 8th. Higgins I have ranked 6th. Kaiser 7th. So I guess we are looking at to go over the top 8. Obviously, Walker is 1. Jahad Campbell 2. Schweisinger would drop to 4. So Chris Paul Jr. 3. Schweisinger 4. Barrett Carter 5. Jay Higgins 6. And Jack Kaiser 7. And Bassa 8.
So now
Demetrius Knight was 5th.
Yeah. Now that we did linebackers, now we can get into starting tomorrow. We can do corners tomorrow.
Corners.
So tomorrow's corners, we've already looked at Travis Hunter as wide receiver. Now we will look at Travis Hunter as a corner. We will do Travis Hunter. We will do Jahdae Barron from Texas. We'll do Will Johnson from Michigan, who I think is going to be a fucking stud. And we're going to do Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky.
Ooh.
And then we'll do another 10 or 12 corners. So I want to go into a lot of these corners because I want to see what you feel about some of these guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I think then we'll get into safeties. We got, 25 days, 26 days till draft?
Yes.
24 days, 23 days? What time? 24th it starts? Yeah, so. It'll be here before you know it. Guess what, Matt? The Tush Push got banned. April Fools.
April Fools!
It did not get banned.
No.
Nice try.
It's tabled.
People are already mad about. They hate Green Bay already.
I love it.
Green Bay and Buffalo.
Guess what? We play them both.
What did you learn today? Anybody learn anything today from the pod? Other than Matt's OBS stream makes him look like he has a red beard.
I do have. Oh wait, yeah, there is a little.
He's waving. Chris, he's waving at you. See, he's waving. He's saying hi.
I don't know if it's from the light. That's weird.
Yeah,
I do get some red beard in the summer. The sunlight.
but it looks
Yeah.
insane.
I looked at that right now. I'm like, huh.
I
got
that. I thought about it. The
Got
whole
that
show.
Sami Zayn
When
color.
am I gonna have a fucking the gin? We can call you Ginger Nemo. Ginger Jesus.
Big Carson.
He signed. April Fools.
He's gonna be in the UFL, man.
Yeah, imagine he goes to the CFL and he goes to Toronto.
Oh, he'll be the king of Canada in a year.
Oh man, move over, Chris. Carson's coming for your dad. He's coming for you. They're gonna be like, Chris, who? Carson's the fucking king of Canada now, not fucking Jobber Chris. Just having some fun here. Yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Why can I exit the stream?
Cameron Dukes is the best CFL quarterback according to CFL.ca.
Oh, really?
Oh, that was only after week 1, so who the hell cares? It's Canadian football.
Good Lord. Matt, it's been an honor as always. Great show.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back on here tomorrow 5 p.m. Peace.
Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't making that. In their heads, living free. I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making cheese like Mercedes Benz. Whoa, yeah. Please don't take offense. It isn't you. I'm just not interested in making friends.
Boom, boom,
Banger!
boom. That's exactly where I wanted to hit it. That's exactly where I wanted to hit it every time. Love it. Love it. Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I like that. I like
show.
that.
That was
Yeah,
quick.
very good. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Fucking flew by.
Dude, I was like, fucking looked at it. I was like, oh shit. Like, yeah, fucking boom. I don't even look at like, I was like, fucking the motherfucker, the Ginger Jesus. Ginger Jesus. I was like, I don't know. It's got to be the lighting.
Yeah,
But,
probably. Dumbass webcam. Looking right into the sun. All right, big dog.
I'll talk to you. Bye.
Yes, sir. finish up there. Four more. Shut up.